Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
Welcome back to part 2 of our Spanish road trip. We have been in the mountains and we are making our way towards San Sebastian along the North Spanish coast. Morning.
Morning. We've just spent the last couple of nights at Camping La Paz on the northern Spanish coast, just a little bit, half an hour from Santander.
And it is an amazing campsite. It's quite in the middle of nowhere. There's no villages very close to it, so you get a real feel of isolation on the campsite. The campsite itself is really big, but it's absolutely gorgeous. There are 2 private beaches to the campsite where it's just fab to go down for a swim, a jump in the waves, or just sunbathe.
It's definitely a Jackie and Rich sort of campsite. It's a little bit rustic. It's an old campsite, but it's a campsite that's really, really well maintained. We've never seen so many people do so much cleaning throughout the day. So the facilities are absolutely spotless and everything that you would require of a campsite.
Yeah, it's got a restaurant and a bar if people want to go for a bit of a drink, and the food looks really nice. We've loved it. It's been a really great base for the last couple of days for us to explore.
We did a lovely coastal walk in the heat of the day again, and there's so much to explore around here. But at the end of that, there's nothing better than coming back to a pretty desolate beach that you've got to yourself and just having a lazy, sleepy afternoon, getting in and out of the sea and just relaxing.
So it's move on day, I think. The weather is coming in a little bit in Spain. We've got 2 or 3 days where it's probably going to rain on and off a lot. So we're heading a bit north towards Bilbao. We're going to explore the city and move on towards San Sebastian, I think.
In terms of cost, we couldn't believe how we've landed on our feet. It's €23 a night, which was £21 sterling. Unbelievable value. But that was using our ASCII card, and if we hadn't have got that, then the cost per night would have been over €40, which we felt would be, well, it would have been too expensive for us. So in terms of getting an ASCII card, on the first night we actually made our money back on that. It is a very popular site, and speaking to the staff, they are absolutely chocker over the summer months of July and August. So there's no reservations now, so you can't get in this summer, but in off season I think we found a beauty and we really love it. our drive across the coast, we thought we'd drop into a little beach just outside Peshon. We thought it was going to be raining and miserable, but it couldn't be further from the truth. It's the Playa de la Mia, and it's two beaches either side that cross with this like little tidal walkway. It's absolutely gorgeous. Not sure how long the sun's going to last, but we'll take it while it comes. It seems a while since we last spoke to the camera, and it actually is, but for all the right reasons. We've had a couple of really hectic days. We've fitted in a few trips to towns, which is very unlike us, and we've had some really long days. So we got back to the van, and we just couldn't really face talking to the camera because we were that tired.
Yeah. We moved on from the coast outside of Santander. We stayed at a really nice campsite just outside of Santona. There are clips of us driving up a very dusty, sandy road.
It was a Google special, and we just could not believe where it was taking us. We were seemingly driving across this dusty, apocalyptic wasteland to a really nice campsite, but granted, it was in the middle of nowhere on the salt flats.
But we did have a nice night there, and the sunset was just beautiful. The salt flats filled at high tide, and it coincided with sunset, and it was really quite calm and still.
And then we had an early start the following day because we were heading off to have another city visit to Bilbao. After an amazing day in Bilbao and a really hot day in Bilbao, we headed further west and we ended up finding a campsite just outside San Sebastian.
I think he means further east, actually.
Headed east and ended up at San Sebastian, which was an area that we really did want to explore, but we realised upon driving into the city it was absolutely manic.
It was. When we got to the campsite, we were really lucky to get a spot. And she said that there was a huge rugby tournament on in the city. Turns out it was the French Premiership semi-finals, back-to-back matches, and 45,000 fans.
So you can imagine what sort of night it was on the campsite with 45,000 rather happy French supporters that were down for the weekend. It was quite a night, and we were up early. And we headed into San Sebastian on a Sunday morning and just have a look at how beautiful it was.
So after what seems like quite a hectic week in Spain, we seem to have packed in a huge amount in what is actually only 7 days. We headed over the border today, although I'm not actually sure we knew we'd gone over the border. We had the passports ready.
It felt just a little bit like a toll booth experience rather than crossing into a new country.
It was a toll booth experience. We were changing from a Spanish toll to a French toll, and there was a French police van parked way at the other side of the toll booth. Didn't even look at us. So, yep, we're in France. We were going to head into the Pyrenees, but the weather forecast at the moment is pretty dire. So at the moment, we're staying on a campsite just outside of Biarritz.
And it's lovely around here. So we've booked in for a couple of nights just so it gives us a 24-hour window to have a look around Biarritz tomorrow and just to see how the weather beds down, because we don't really want to be going into the mountains if it's going to be just foul when we know that there's beautiful weather on the coast and further north to come. So we're going to play it a little bit by ear.
Yep.
So that's it from us. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.